There are moments in life when you feel crushed, not just by circumstances, but by people. People who betrayed you, lied to you, took your kindness for weakness. People who tried to break your spirit while smiling to your face. And in those moments, it's easy to ask, where is justice? Why does it seem like those who hurt you are winning? But the truth is this. Just because you can't see what God is doing doesn't mean there's a process unfolding behind the scenes that you may never fully understand. And when God is dealing with those who hurt you, it rarely looks loud. It often looks like silence. But silence is not absence. God was not blind to your pain. He saw the tears you cried in secret. He heard the words spoken against you that others ignored. He watched as you kept showing up, broken, but still faithful. And every act of betrayal, every wound, every injustice, he took account of it, but God's justice isn't revenge, it's restoration. He doesn't settle for making people pay. He's in the business of making you whole. There's a reason he told you to stay silent instead of fighting back. There's a reason your energy felt blocked every time you tried to prove yourself. God wasn't asking you to ignore the pain. He was asking you to trust that he will make all things right in his way, in his time. And when he begins to deal with those who tried to harm you, it won't always come through chaos or destruction. It may come through exposure, through loss of peace, through their own conscience eating at them until they can't hide anymore, or through your rise, your healing, your success, your peace, becoming undeniable proof that what they meant for harm, God turned for your good. You don't need to carry bitterness. You don't need to obsess over justice, because the greatest sign that God is dealing with those who hurt you is that he's lifting you. He's building you. He's using their betrayal as the soil for your growth. He's taking what was meant to break you and using it to bless you. That's how divine justice works, not just by tearing down your enemies, but by raising you up so high that no one can deny the hand of God on your life. So breathe, let go of the need to get even, keep walking in truth, in strength, in quiet confidence, because when God handles it, no one can undo it. What they did will never have the final word. God will, and his justice always speaks louder than their lies. There are times when silence feels unbearable, when you've been hurt, betrayed, or attacked by someone you trusted, and all you hear in response is quiet. No apology, no justice, no explanation. It's easy to wonder if God is listening, but silence from God does not mean absence. It means he is moving in ways that aren't always visible to you yet. Behind that silence, there's strategy, there's protection, there's preparation. God's timing is not your timing, but his justice is never delayed. It's precise. You may want quick payback, but God is not interested in just punishing those who hurt you. He's far more invested in writing a story that builds you, humbles them, and glorifies him. And often, the most powerful things God does begin in silence. It's in the quiet that character is shaped. It's in the waiting that trust is forged. And it's in the stillness that his plan unfolds, piece by piece, far beyond what you can see. When you think nothing is happening, something is being aligned. People are being exposed. Truth is surfacing. Hearts are being stirred. Doors are being opened for you and closed for those who tried to harm you. The silence you feel is not God ignoring you. It's him working deeply, carefully, and perfectly. So don't mistake quiet for inaction. That silence is sacred. It's where healing begins and where justice starts to form. Trust the process. The same God who saw your pain is the same God preparing your breakthrough. When he moves, it will be clear that it wasn't random, it wasn't delayed, it was divine. When someone hurts you deeply, the world often moves on quickly. People forget. They overlook the pain you carry and the silent battles you fight just to keep standing. But God doesn't. He was there in every moment you felt abandoned, every night you cried when no one noticed, every time you kept silent to protect your peace. Nothing escaped his attention. Not the manipulation, not the betrayal, not the false words spoken behind your back. God saw it all, and he took it personally. God is not a distant observer to your suffering. He is close to the brokenhearted. When others dismissed your pain, he drew near. When others believed the lies, he held fast to the truth. Your pain did not go unseen. It was recorded, honored, and carried by a God who promises justice for every injustice. There is not a single wound you've endured that hasn't echoed in heaven. And here's what's powerful. God doesn't just see the pain. He sees how you responded to it. He saw the strength it took for you not to retaliate. He saw your restraint, your dignity, your endurance. That mattered. That honored him. And because of that, he will deal with those who wounded you, not just to balance the scales, but to protect the heart that stayed pure. He saw it all, and he remembers. So while people may forget or pretend it never happened, God never forgets. And when he moves, it won't just be about correcting them. It will be about restoring you. You are not overlooked. Your pain has a witness, and that witness is the one who holds the final word. God's justice is not a mirror of human revenge. It doesn't come wrapped in anger or destruction. Instead, it arrives through transformation, through healing, and through undeniable elevation. When people wrong you, your first instinct may be to wish for their downfall, to see them feel what they made you feel. But God operates on a higher plane. He doesn't just settle the score. He writes a whole new chapter, a chapter where you rise, where your wounds become wisdom, and where your strength becomes your story. Restoration is God's way of showing you that your pain had purpose. It's how he reminds you that nothing was wasted, not the betrayal, not the silence, not the heartbreak. Every scar becomes evidence of survival, of grace, of divine rewriting. And while you're tempted to chase revenge or validation, God invites you to receive restoration instead, something no human hand can provide. God's restoration is holistic. It doesn't just fix what was broken, it multiplies what was taken. He doesn't give you back what you lost, he gives you better. Better peace, better relationships, a better understanding of your worth. And often he does this in full view of those who try to tear you down, not to shame them, but to show them that his favor can't be blocked by their harm. In choosing restoration over revenge, you rise above the chaos. You no longer live as a victim of what happened to you, but as a witness of what God has done through you. That is real justice, not just punishment of the wrongdoers, but the building of a life so whole, so strong, and so blessed that no one can deny God's hand was on you all along. When God deals with those who hurt you, it often starts not with external events, but with internal unrest. The conscience is one of God's most powerful instruments. While someone may appear unbothered on the outside, God knows how to stir their spirit on the inside. The guilt they tried to bury, the peace they pretend to have, it slowly begins to unravel under the weight of conviction. And that's not your doing as divine work. People can fool the world. They can hide behind smiles, excuses, and distractions, but they can't hide from their own conscience forever. When you've hurt someone deeply and walk away without repentance, that mark lingers, and over time, God brings it to the surface. He may not expose it publicly right away, but he allows their inner world to collapse until they're forced to face what they've done. The beauty of God's justice is that it's designed to lead people to change, not just punishment. So when someone who wronged you begins to lose peace, it's not random. When their joy feels hollow and their relationships feel strained, it's often a result of what they tried to cover up. That discomfort is divine correction. God allows it to fester, not out of cruelty, but to push them toward reflection, confession, and ultimately, redemption. You don't have to be the one to make them feel the weight of what they did. God is already doing that in ways more effective than anything you could orchestrate. And while they wrestle with their conscience, you get to walk in peace. You get to heal, to rise, to move forward, knowing that the very thing they thought they got away with is the very thing God is using to reach their soul. When God begins to elevate you, it becomes one of the clearest signs that he is handling those who tried to harm you. There's no louder message to your enemies than your progress. They may have tried to break you, discredit you, or delay your purpose, but when God places his hand on your life, Nothing they did can stop the forward motion he has ordained. Your rise becomes a testimony not of your perfection, but of God's protection and favor. It tells the world that even in the face of betrayal, you stood firm, and now you're reaping the reward of endurance. Elevation doesn't always mean fame or fortune. Sometimes it's deeper peace. It's the confidence you now carry. It's the clarity in your mind and the strength in your voice. It's waking up without bitterness, walking with boldness, and making decisions from a place of healing instead of hurt. That kind of rise cannot be faked, and it cannot be ignored. The people who tried to bring you down will see your glow and won't understand how you're still standing, how you're thriving. That's when it becomes evident that something greater was carrying you all along. That's when it's clear that what was meant for evil has been turned for good. God doesn't need you to explain yourself. He'll let your life speak. Every step forward, every door opened, every moment of peace you experience is part of His divine justice. Your rise is not just about you. It's a reflection of His faithfulness. And it becomes undeniable proof to those who hurt you. They didn't win. What they tried to destroy, God rebuilt. Stronger, brighter, untouchable. Letting go when you've been wronged doesn't mean you've lost. It doesn't mean the pain didn't matter or that you're weak. Letting go is one of the most powerful acts of faith a person can take. It means you're strong enough to stop carrying what was never yours to hold. It means you trust that God's justice is better than your vengeance. And when you release the need to get even, you create space for healing, for peace, and for breakthrough.